Hello everyone and welcome back to the garden. It's coming into the end of summer in Australia and I'm starting to feel the season shift. The heat wave feels like it's finally over. We had a small storm roll in that brought in some cooler weather and a windy chill to the air. I even had to wear a jumper. The hot days aren't completely over yet. We've barely had any rain, so the garden is still really struggling, and it's still really hot, but I'm determined to keep pottering on and start preparing for the new season to come. I absolutely love summer. I love the warm weather and being able to swim every day, but as a gardener, I admit I have been daydreaming about some cooler weather. So this week, come along with me as I complete some tasks to start preparing for the autumn season and reflect on what didn't go well this summer and how I could do better. I'm still in the process of planting out some summer vegetables and I'm so determined to have my little pumpkin seedlings growing on this trellis. I originally direct sowed some seeds that didn't make it, unfortunately, due to the heat. So this is take 2 of attempting to grow some little pumpkins on my trellis. I got given some seedlings, so I'm attempting to give them a go. I've also been learning more about Australian native bees and what I can do more to attract more in my garden. I've learned that apparently the blue banded bees love purple, which means we might have a thing or two in common. So I purchased a purple salvia to add to my cottage garden in hopes that they like it. I opted for a spot at the end of the garden bed and I'm hopeful the shed isn't too hot for it. I first had to clear some room so I can get into the garden bed and dig a hole to plant it. And digging a hole really highlighted how dry the soil was and it makes me so sad. I've been reflecting on the past season of growing and what things I want to change or improve on for next time, and I think investing in some irrigation is a must for next summer. I think this summer has been hotter than usual, so it's made everything extra challenging. I do have a rain tank, but I've completely emptied it. So I either need to invest in another rain tank for next summer or explore something like a spear pump to access bore water. But due to the large amount of iron in bore water, it can stain everything a gross orange color, so I'm not so keen on that. But until then, I'm sticking with hand watering, but it's definitely not the most efficient ways to do things, and it takes a lot of time. I then started on the task of cutting back my annual flower bed. It's all completely died back and looking very sad, but I think it's finally time to cut it back completely. So first, I'm collecting all the flower heads to either save the seeds or scatter elsewhere in the garden, and then chopping up the stems and dropping them in the garden bed as mulch. Another reflection on the past season of something I think I could get better at is seed saving. I think seed saving is such an amazing asset to a gardener, but it does take a bit of preparation and planning. I've been very guilty of saving seeds on my windowsill with plans to dry them out and save them, but alas, a lot of the times I forgot about it and they end up getting moldy, or I just completely forgot entirely and eat the food instead and forgot to save one for seed saving. So this is something I really want to improve on for next season. I'm currently doing some house renovations at the moment, so soon I plan to have a whole room dedicated to like garden and craft stuff, which I can't wait to share that process. But I really want to have a section in this room dedicated to seed saving. But until then, I need to start building up better habits so I can get into the routine of seed saving. And while I was filming this, I saw a really cool white spider, so I had to run inside and get my macro lens, and this is what I was able to capture. I absolutely love my macro lens, by the way, and chasing around little insects in the garden is so much fun. But sadly, I didn't get to film the rest of the day of me doing this task, but I actually had my partner help me use an electric mulcher to mulch the rest of the flower stems, which was way quicker than cutting them myself, and then placed down some mushroom compost and some mulch in preparation for the next season crops. And I think in a perfect world, I would have started these seeds already. Sadly, I'm not that organized with seeds yet. A big goal of mine is to have a constant supply of seedlings on the go and have a plan for succession planting. I've just done a massive seed order in hopes I'll have a constant supply of seeds for the year, so I'm really excited to see how that goes. But I think building the right habits and routine is an important step and definitely something I could improve on, because the goal is you don't want everything fruiting or getting ripe at once. You kind of want to have something on the go all the time. So that's the end goal with the garden. But for now, I've been purchasing seedlings from the market, and it might be a little bit too late in the season, but I purchased these small warty gourd seedlings. So I'm hoping to grow them up the trellis, and I really hope these take because I don't want a collection of weird and ugly gourds to put on display. So that's I think my goal for next season, a collection of ugly gourds and pumpkins. But the garden bed that's the right of my trellis is really struggling, and I think it's just getting too much sun. I put some seedlings in both beds, and the ones in the left bed are fine. The ones in the right hand bed completely died. So I'm going to avoid putting seedlings in this bed for now, but I am putting in some loofah seeds, thanks to a recommendation of one of you guys. Loofah is a really cool plant because it is edible when small, but if you let it grow large and dry it out, you can use it as a loofah. Like, you know, like the shower loofahs. You can also use it in washing up, and this is what they look like. I've been using it in the shower and in the kitchen for a little while, and I'm really enjoying it. It's also way more eco-friendly and sustainable. And originally I didn't want to grow one on my trellis because I know they can completely take over. But I figured, why not give it a go? I'll just be really proactive in managing it. So we'll see how the seeds go, and hopefully I'll have a lush green trellis coming into autumn. It's then time to plant out some seedlings. So we'll be planting these out in the garden bed where I had my annual flowers. I picked up some autumn seedlings from the market, and I'm hopeful it's not too hot for them yet. I bought some cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. I've never grown Brussels sprouts before, but I'm always eager to try new things, so hopefully they do alright in this climate. I then planted out some carrot seeds. I love carrots, but I have never had much success in growing them, but I have learned a few tips that I want to experiment. For starters, apparently carrots don't do well as seedlings. So if you're buying them as seedlings, they don't like being transplanted, so it's better to grow them from seeds. I've also learned that they like depleted soil, so it's best to grow them in soil after something has finished growing. This soil has had mushroom compost added to it, so it may not be ideal, but I'm eager to grow them in different spots to see what has the best results. Also, thinning out the carrots as they grow is important, otherwise they can compete with each other, and I've had them all knot around each other sometimes. So to avoid that, you can pull them out or cut the tops off the ones you don't want to grow. So these are all things I've learnt but never really put into practice. So hopefully I can give it a go this time around and share the progress with you guys and see if it's a success or not. I also picked up some seedlings for my hanging pots. My goal with these is to have some really hardy plants because I know hanging pots can be a pain, so I've been exploring using native plants, and there's some really nice ones out there. I already have this yellow buttons plant in this hanging pot and I quite like it, but I'm planting another variety next to it. It's the same flower but different leaves, so I figured that would look really nice. I also picked up a Brahmi herb. This is commonly known as a memory herb, which is apparently good for improved memory and as an anti-anxiety. I don't particularly dabble in medicinal herbs, but I always find it interesting and I'm curious to try things out sometimes. And And then I figured it was time to harvest some corn because it was about time. This is a painted corn variety and they're meant to get some really cool colors. And I haven't had much luck with corn in the past and I knew these weren't going to be very successful, but still, these are the results. Let's prepare for disappointment. So I don't know if you can see, they're all white and the color looks like it tried to get color. They're quite hard. I think I've harvested this too early or I left it too long. So I was a bit confused as to why this one had no colors, but then I kind of figured that maybe it was just a white variety. So the seed packet I got was kind of like a mixed bag of different colors. I then harvested some of the others and luckily they were a bit more exciting. Ooh, this one's all red. How cool. There's an ant in there. This one was falling over. That's what we want. It's kind of got all the colors. Still not pollinated properly. So I know when the tops go dry, that means they're ready to harvest. So hopefully it's ready. Ooh. I don't think this one was ready. It's like got a lot of the talus, not a lot of color. Ooh, look at this color. That's cool. So as you can see, they didn't quite pollinate fully. I think I harvested this one too early. When corn is missing kernels, it's usually a sign of pollination issues, and this could be because of various factors, but I was experimenting growing them in clumps rather than blocks, so maybe that's a factor. Also, I know they like a lot of water, and maybe this dry weather was a factor as well. But regardless, I think they look pretty cool. I may even try another attempt before the summer ends and see if I have more success. And if you got corn growing tips, please let me know because it's something I really want to get good at.
Hey, Bubby, don't do that.
And then harvested some capsicums for dinner. I started to notice I'm getting a mealybug infestation in these garden beds, so that's something I definitely need to keep an eye on because mealybugs are a pain. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching it. I'm hoping we'll get some rain next week. If we do, I'll take you guys along for some seed starting. Otherwise, I'm eager to harvest and seed save a few things from around the garden as we come to the end of summer. So let me know if there's any particular videos you guys want to see or what your favorite parts are of the videos. I'm still experimenting making these and getting into the flow of things, so your feedback always helps. So thanks so much for watching and I'll see you next time.